Live from Fox 35 News, you're watching Good Day Orlando.
And welcome back on this Friday morning. Welcome to the 6 o'clock hour of Good Day Orlando. I'm Ryan Elijah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Danielle Knox. Friday morning. Hope you're doing all right. And it is good to see you as always. Here's a look now. Some of the stories that we're working on for you this morning in our 6 o'clock hour.
Helping our neighbors to the north. We've talked a lot about this. A fleet of power workers leaving ahead of that major winter storm to help get power back on as quickly as possible.
Plus, the first of its kind in the state, the history-making vote in Orange County for the first public-private charter school. How it all works just ahead.
And a Fox 35 exclusive, the man saving a boy being attacked by a homeless man. That's him right there, sharing his powerful story.
The thought was, I might die.
Well, he stepped up. You can see him right there taking action. More on the hero with the toolbox coming up in just a little bit. Right now, though, let's get to the big story of the weekend. Certainly, that's Brooks Garner. Not so much our weather, Brooks, but how we're going to be impacted by this.
Right. As far as travel delays, cancellations, we've got this massive winter storm taking shape right now. And if you have any flights coming to or from Dallas, Atlanta, Nashville, Charlotte, D.C., New York, Boston, this is like all the hubs on the eastern two-thirds of the U.S. that are going to get hammered and probably have widespread cancellations. We're not participating in this winter event in Florida. It's going to be in the 80s this weekend, but we will experience it. Any travel plans next week, they're probably going to be interrupted by plane. 57 degrees in Orlando right now, so it's amazing. While we're going to be in the 80s this weekend, we're still going to be feeling the effects of that winter storm from the ability to get here from there or vice versa. 55 in Bushnell, 59 in Titusville, a little bit of patchy fog popping up here and there. Can't be ruled out through the morning, but the big weather story today is the heat, and the heat here locally is building into the weekend. We'll go from 82 in Winter Haven today, 80 Orlando, 74 in New Smyrna, to more like 85 to 86 by Sunday. It is going to be hot. Yeah, our typical high 71 to 72, so we're going to be way above that. Today it works out like this: 59 by 8 by lunchtime, up to 77. It is going to feel like springtime. Topping out today at 80 at 3 o'clock. Just a beautiful day. All right, coming up, we will take a deep dive into that winter storm because a lot of us have friends and family or travel plans in these impacted areas, but there are winter storm watches and warnings from Maine all the way to Texas and beyond. All right, let's get a look at our Skyfox traffic this morning. Jessica, I am very happy that we're on the warm side of the system.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's going to pay off in a big way, so we are very fortunate for that. But when it comes to traffic here at home, that's one of the ways we're pretty fortunate. Is the roadways this morning, they're not looking bad. We have been in the green just about across the board. Haven't seen a whole lot in the way of issues or incidents. Here's a live view of our Lake Mary Tower Cam. Does show that things are moving along just fine. We do have an influx of cars beginning to show up on the roadway, so we're starting to see that volume increase, but so far so good. Not seeing any sort of problems at this point as far as significant slowdowns go, at least for this stretch near Lake Mary on I-4 both east and westbound. Heading from Lake Mary Boulevard, speaking of, to Colonial Drive, we're up to 13 minutes, which is again in the green, right on time, not seeing any sort of slowdowns. We do know though, as we get closer to 6:30 and 7 a.m., that's probably going to change, but hopefully it's an easygoing Friday morning for us. But looking at our FDOT camera there, you can see traffic is moving along very nicely at a good pace. Heading from Champions Gate to downtown, 22 minutes, so not seeing any sort of problems there either, so we're looking good. All right, it's 6:02. I will send it back over to Ryan and Danielle.
Jess, thanks so much. And right now, you know, speaking of slowdowns, right, several states across the eastern United States are preparing for a major winter storm.
And that means power crews are preparing to help others in need as well, including OUC, Orlando Utilities Commission. Marley Capper joining us live. And Marley, local power crews are preparing to travel to South Carolina.
Here, it's nice. We actually get to go help other people too. We all help each other, help get the system back up.
How important is that to make sure that you're providing aid for other areas? Because obviously we're not going to be hit like some of the other states are.
Yeah, so it's very important because those people there, they don't have the manpower alone to fix when something catastrophic like this happens. So it's nice that we all have like a band of brothers here that come together to help restore it a lot quicker.
We have to take one more step closer. Hey,
there we go.
Florida boy?
Yes, sir.
You're about to head into some pretty cold temps, bud. Are you ready for that? How do you get prepared?
We take a lot of.
All right, so you heard Marley Capper's question there. She is interviewing OUC officials. We will, of course, monitor that. We're going to check in with Marley here in just a little bit. Big job ahead for them. The winter storm moving across the country is going to cause a lot of travel issues over the weekend and many beyond. You're taking a live look here. We'll show you flight delays and cancellations. Amanda Ruiz joining us live from Orlando International Airport with a look at how MCO is preparing for these impacts to travel. Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning. The issue isn't here in Orlando. I mean, Brooks said it. We're going to have a beautiful weekend. It's where the flights are going and where they're coming from. So bottom line, just make sure you're checking your flights, making sure the status is right. And especially if you're flying on those Sunday and Monday days, just make sure you're being aware and planning ahead. For now, reporting at the airport, Amanda Ruiz, Fox 35 News.
Amanda, good tips. Want to shift to this new this morning. The IVF clinic at the center of a lawsuit is now responding. So the Fertility Center of Orlando in Longwood saying they're cooperating with the investigation to discover the source of the error. They go on to say they're focused on the well-being of the patient and that child involved. Back in December, a couple claims the clinic put the wrong embryo in the mother. She then carried that baby and delivered it before discovering the baby was not hers. Lawyers for the victims are now seeking an injunction. A local elementary school is going to turn in its first-of-a-kind public charter school. This is happening at Orange Center Elementary. That's near Camping World Stadium. Parents had the final say. Most of them approved that plan. So this is now a partnership between Orange County Public Schools and the nonprofit Lift Orlando.
About engagement. The promise to these parents is engagement and making sure that they have agency and voice in this process.
I think when we look at this public-private partnership, we are looking at a different way that we work with our charter schools. We're not in competition.
So by 2029, it's set to become a K-9 STEAM academy.
It is now 6:09 and still ahead on Good Day Orlando this morning. It was quite a furry rescue in Brevard County.
Look at all those are baby raccoons being nursed back to health, by the way. Stay up to date on the next sea turtle rescue as well. We're going to share how you can get informed. Right now, let's check in and get you out the door with Brooks Garner. Hi, Brooks.
Yeah, good morning. It is a quiet morning here across Central Florida and a beautiful weekend ahead with 80s on the way. And we're all smiles here in Florida because there's a major winter storm affecting 2/3 of the country. But that will have major travel implications on us here in Orlando. I'll show you the latest on this system. It's really interesting to watch, but even more so, we're going to be near record highs on Sunday.
Your bus stop forecast is sponsored by Orange County Library System. Jennifer Kessie vanished without a trace.
This was her home here in Orlando, the last place she was seen alive.
Decades passed, but secrets remained.
This is not good. Something's really wrong here.
Her family never gave up.
I miss her every single day.
Whoever did this, are they the luckiest criminal alive?
Now, the breakthrough that could unravel it all. Fox 35 Docs presents Jennifer Kessie, 20 years later, tonight at 7.
Dee, it is a 5-ship Friday.
I'm counting them.
Yeah, there's 2 in our shop. There are 5 ships in Port Canaveral.
Yeah.
That's the Royal Caribbean Adventure of the Seas. On the left would be the Disney Fantasy, I believe. They got 2 Disney ships. The Wish is also there this morning. So good look out at a busy port this morning. Let's say in Brevard County, there are 14 babies and there is no mama in sight.
We are talking about a massive raccoon recovery that is underway. Their moms were relocated and their babies were left behind. And so now more than a dozen orphans are being rehabilitated. In about a month, these baby raccoons will be moved to a bigger cage to continue rehab and eventually return out to the wild. They're being cared for at Crystal's Critter Care and Rescue.
Sad, but awesome days when we release them. That's probably my favorite. We give them the best chance that they got.
Which is amazing. One raccoon's care is about $700, and so volunteers want people to know when they relocate moms around this time of year, babies are the ones who ultimately get left behind.
A raccoon passed me this morning, looked nothing like that. It was a lot bigger.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
Still
that
cute,
was,
though.
Oh, yeah. No,
I didn't hit him. Is that what you're wondering?
Of course not.
He was hiding behind a
tree.
tree.
Do you know that we have nothing but animals in the community?
Oh, by the way, hold Brooks for a second. We got one more. You can sign up, by the way, for the Brevard Zoo. They're holding a sea turtle release. When it's release time, the zoo will share the time and location. All you have to do is sign up on the zoo list email. The link is available on the zoo's Facebook page. Jump in with your story. So cute.
I was very close, but I went around him and he looked back at me like, thank you. So that made my morning. I was able to save a raccoon's life, right?
Yeah.
They do great work out there.
You want to see him at night, though. You don't want to see him during the day.
No,
that usually means something's not good.
I had an encounter with a raccoon during the day once, but I'll spare you the story. It wasn't bad. It was just.
Okay, good.
It explains why I'm all crazy. No. Totally kidding. No, it was a close call. We were at the playground with the kids in Texas, and this raccoon was the size of a dog.
Oh, God.
It was like running at us. We got in the car and hightailed it. It was like 3 in the afternoon. I was like, that's not a healthy raccoon.
That's not a healthy raccoon.
They're cute until they charge. Yeah, exactly. Kind of like the weather, right?
I know.
The weather is cute until it's not.
Yeah.
Our weather this weekend is going to be cute here in Florida. It's going to be great. We're looking at 80s, but up north it's definitely not cute. With this forecast, it's all about the impacts. There's a huge ice storm potential here across parts of the south, big snow potential across parts of the northeast, but at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters as far as the metric goes is impacts. And the impacts we're going to feel here are flight cancellations all over the country. And folks there will have impacts of, does the power stay on or does the power go out? Am I shoveling 6 inches of snow or 12 inches of snow? It doesn't matter. I'm shoveling snow. So the impacts are much the same. It's going to snarl travel and by road and by air. I'll show you all the numbers coming up. But these numbers, we've got a mild start to the day with 55 in Bushnell. A little bit of fog down here toward Lake Okeechobee, about a quarter-mile visibility as you head down the turnpike south of Yeehaw Junction. But at the bus stop this morning, despite a little bit of patchy fog here and there, we're going to have a mild start to the day, close to 60 right now. We'll be up to 80 this afternoon for a beautiful, beautiful day today. Top, you got at 82 today in Winter Haven, if you're heading down to Legoland or Peppa World. 81 in Bushnell, 80 in the Villages. Have you been to Peppa World? Well, I think they call it Peppa Pig Park or something like that. But anyway, if you got kids, you know Peppa. All right, we got some pep in our step this morning. Cocoa Beach with 76 degrees. That'll be the high today. Not so much here across the country. Look at this winter weather. Everything on the map is a winter weather advisory of some sort. In blue, it's winter storm watches. In pink, it's winter storm warnings. It's very rare to have a coverage like this, where it's like 2/3 of the country. Winter storm warnings for snow and freezing rain, and an ice storm warning just issued for northern Mississippi, parts of western Tennessee, and northwesternmost Alabama, for what could be up to an inch of ice. Also here in northeast of Georgia, around Gainesville, Georgia. This is going to be a kind of situation where it makes travel there by road pretty much impossible. Tree limbs down, power could be out for days. And it's all thanks to the surge of Arctic air coming down. Look at this, minus 21 right now in Minneapolis. That's the current temperature. That's absurd. And that's heading southward. So yeah, there's a big contrast here in the temperatures. We're going to be looking at 86 degrees on Sunday here. So it's just an incredible, it's like over 100 degrees difference between where the Arctic air is and where we are here in Florida. And in between, there's going to be an ice storm with a widespread 1/4 of an inch of ice accumulation, or it's called accretion, like on the trees and power lines, as well as once you get farther south, there could be up to an inch of that ice accumulation, and that's going to pull trees down and limbs and cause all kinds of problems. So in the pink, it is just going to be really tough to drive or function, and there's going to be widespread power outages. So again, I think in this situation, it's like looking at the snowfall forecast. Just think about the impacts. If you have a glaze of ice, that can make roads dangerous. If you get an inch of ice, that can pull down power lines. There could be a foot of snow in Oklahoma City. Less than an inch of snow likely in Dallas, it looks like at this point, based on most of that being freezing rain and sleet. Louisville could get a foot of snow. It's possible, although it looks like a lot of that's going to mix in with some sleet. In the northeast, by the way, the timing on this, Saturday to the west, Sunday in the southeast, and then on Monday in the northeast, a big snowstorm here. The system moving north, and it could drop 12 to 18 inches in Boston, representing by far the biggest snowstorm of the season, 12 to 15 inches across the Poconos of Pennsylvania, and upwards of 2 feet of snow or more on the lee of Lake Ontario there, with a little bit of lake effect enhancement. So when you see that forecast and then you see our forecast, it really represents a contrast. We woke you to say 80 today, tomorrow 86 on Sunday. I think a lot of folks who are from the north, retired here or on vacation here, appreciate it. 58 degrees on Tuesday, a little bit cooler for those who love the winter weather. We're going to have a little taste of it, but it's not going to last long. All right, let's get to our Snap the Sun this morning. Here's a pretty picture. The sun coming up here from Mike in Leesburg. Gorgeous shot. We'd love to share your photo. Go to fox35orlando.com/snap, or you can scan that QR code. All right, Jessica, I'm just glad we're not tracking icy roads out there this morning.
Oh yeah, me both. But when it comes to our traffic here at home, we are looking pretty good this morning. Haven't seen much in the way of delays. Been looking at a lot of our cameras. Haven't seen a lot of issues, so that's some good news. This is I-4 near Saxon Boulevard. So if you're heading from Deltona to downtown, you're looking at about a 24-minute drive. So we might have a minor slowdown or two that's starting to stack up, possibly near Lake Mary, but otherwise I haven't seen much. Also some minor slowdowns to note near Disney Springs there, not too far off from the attractions and iDrive, so that's where we're starting to see traffic building up there. But otherwise, this camera shows that, yeah, we do have several cars out on the roadways, but we're looking at around a 24-minute drive as well if you're heading in from Champions Gate to downtown. Maybe you're heading on the toll roads. We're looking good if you're taking the Turnpike, heading from US 27 to the I-4 corridor, about a 24-minute drive through that stretch as you make your way into Orange County. St. Cloud to I-4, you're looking at around a 14-minute commute if you're heading northbound on the Turnpike there. So we're looking good this morning. We will take it. Hopefully our gas prices are looking good too. We do have some prices for you for Pump Patrol this morning. $2.59 at the Wawa. You can find that in Lady Lake off of US 27 and 441. You can also find more great deals by going to our website, fox35orlando.com/traffic. All right, Ryan and Danielle, send it back to you.
Jess is searching for the best deals.
There
Jess,
she
thanks.
goes.
We're seeing a little bit. Still ahead on Good Day Orlando. We are learning some new details now about the ongoing negotiations for Greenland.
So what the deal could mean for the United States. We'll talk about that just ahead. Plus, TikTok securing its place in the United States. How the platform made a deal before the president's deadline. 6:21. Stay with us. More Good Day Orlando just ahead.
Cool. 6:28 is the time. Next up on Good Day Orlando. It has been 20 years since an Orlando woman left her condo and never came home.
So we're going to tell you how her family continues to fight for answers all these years later. Plus, cities from Dallas to New York are preparing for what could be a major winter storm. The preparations being made at the state and national level when we come back.
Celebrate Lunar 2026.
Orlando's premier Lunar New Year Festival.
Saturday, January 31st from noon to 9.
For ticket information, visit celebratelunar.com.
Good Day Orlando, sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Live from Fox 35 News, you're watching Good Day Orlando.
And good morning, Central Florida. It certainly is good to see you as always on this Friday morning. I hope you are doing all right. I'm Danielle Knox.
I'm Ryan Elijah. Good to be with you. We're going to have good weather. I'm going to hit a theme park for the first time Saturday. We've got that luxury Saturday, but boy, we've got a weather alert for millions of Americans. A winter storm could spell trouble for over a dozen states. Florida is sending help to the north. We're going to take you live with the very latest this morning.
Oh, we certainly are. And so having said that, let's go ahead now and check in with Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner, who is joining us with what we can expect here, but more importantly, what's going to happen up north. It really is going to be a trickle down because we will feel some effects here.
Well, Orlando is a very transient region, right? A lot of folks are flying to and from. It's vacation land. There's a lot of road trips happening. And it's one of those things where even like if you're going 6 hours north to Atlanta by car, it'll start to get really hairy with an icing event developing Saturday night into the day Sunday. And if you're flying, we're going to have a huge trickle down of flight cancellations because a massive winter storm is shaping up around the country. I'll show you all the details on that. We're not participating. We're going to be in the 80s this weekend. 80s, yes. 57 right now downtown Orlando under mostly clear skies. A little patchy fog popping up here and there. Temps 49 Palm Coast, 60 Kissimmee and St. Cloud right now. The fog is showing up to the north, maybe from the Villages to Daytona. Just a little bit of fog here and there, and especially as you head down to Lake Okeechobee. So the big weather story today isn't so much the fog this morning, it's going to be the warm weather. It is going to feel like springtime. Here we are, January 23rd. It looks like spring. A lot of the trees, the oak trees, are budding out with those fluorescent green flowers as the new generation of leaves pop out. I mean, it is Florida after all. Spring here comes early. Patchy fog, 59 degrees at 8, up to 77 by noon. We're going to top out today near 80 degrees. Coming up, it's all about the winter storm, and the impacts will be super widespread from New England to Texas, from Omaha all the way down to Birmingham. Freezing rain, sleet, snow, and a lot of all of it. All right, let's get to our Skyfox traffic. We're loving Florida this weekend, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, we're going to be looking good this weekend, and traffic is actually looking pretty decent this morning as well. We haven't had a whole lot in the way of issues. Been keeping a close eye on some of the cameras, some of our maps, and here's a live view of our map as a whole. We can see that things look nice. We're not seeing any sort of traffic bubbles or incidents pop up. When it comes to our cameras, making your way in from US 27 all the way to downtown Orlando, we can see things are looking good. I will say though, we've had an influx of cars and an increase in the volume near the attractions and the celebration area, which is pretty typical this time of morning, but still we're starting to see that build up there and not seeing a ton in the way of brake tapping, so that's good, but just keep in mind we're likely going to see some of that congestion continue to build within the next 30 to 45 minutes. And we're already seeing yellow as you make your way into southern Orange County there as a result of that. So 30-minute drive, so we're technically still in the green. We'll take it as opposed to your normal 27-minute commute as you make your way in from US 27 to downtown Orlando. All right, Ryan and Danielle, I'll send it back over to you.
We appreciate appreciate you, Jess. Thank you. Right now, several states across the eastern United States are preparing for a major winter storm.
Yeah, you can only do so much, and many power crews preparing to help others in need. Orlando Utilities Commission in that group as well. Let's go to Marley Capper. We checked in 30 minutes ago. Marley, they had a live press conference going. We heard one of your questions. They are getting ready for a big effort as they travel to South Carolina. What did you learn so far this morning?
Ryan, Danielle, good morning to both of you. Well, something that I learned is that they are prepared for this, that they have mutual agreements with several places, and that they really want to use their skills and talents. I asked if they're looking forward to this, if it's a kind of game time, and he said yes. He said they want to make sure that they are helping our neighboring states, our neighbors in general, and making sure that everybody has power and gets power back as soon as possible, especially because this could be really catastrophic. So crews they already headed out this morning, and hopefully they'll arrive later this afternoon or this evening potentially, depending on the route that they take. And we know that they will be really helping communities ensure that they can get the power back up. And one of the sound bites he said was, you know, it really means a lot to them when they're in a community where the power is down and they're able to get it up, and then people come outside and clap and say, hey, thank you. And they really want to make sure that people are staying safe. So they're glad to be doing it, and we appreciate the help that they're offering as well. For now, I'll send things back to you.
They will be welcomed with open arms.
Yes.
Marley, thanks. Well, happening right now, preparations are being made now in over a dozen states ahead of that storm we've been discussing.
Fox 35's Jessica Dobson joins us now live in studio with what's being done. And Jess, as we turn our attention to you and say good morning, a lot has to be done to make sure that people stay as safe as possible.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning. And the roads from Dallas to Boston are being treated with sanitation crews working around the clock. So a lot of things to consider here when it comes to just the extent and the magnitude of this event for sure. But I'll send it back over to you, Ryan and Danielle.
Great point, Jessica. We've already seen the price of natural gas shoot up this week as well. Well, today marks 20 years, by the way, since Jennifer Kessie's disappearance.
And her family has been dealing with that pain ever since she disappeared in Orlando back in 2006. Fox 35's Garrett Weimer spoke with them. Garrett Weimer reporting for us there, and Good Day Orlando will have extended coverage on the 20th anniversary of Jennifer Kessie's disappearance. At 7:45, we'll be talking to former Orlando Police Chief Orlando Rallone, and then at 8:15, Jennifer's parents, Drew and Joyce Kessie, will be joining us to discuss the latest details on the case. And tonight, Fox 35 will have a half-hour special on the latest in the search for Jennifer Kessie. That is tonight, 7 p.m., Fox 35.
New this morning, Orlando city leaders working to confirm a possible bird flu death at Lake Davis Park. Residents notified the city of several dead wild birds at the park. Residents claim a necropsy was performed and that one of the birds tested positive for the bird flu. The city has not confirmed this information. City leaders do want to say to avoid direct contact with the birds and remove and clean your shoes after you leave the park.
6:41 and still ahead on Good Day Orlando here for you this morning. The king of convenience stores has been dethroned.
We're going to talk about the new frontrunner taking Bucky's place as Florida's favorite, maybe a debatable poll. We'll talk about it. 6:41, it's Friday morning. We'll be back.
Jennifer Kessie vanished without a trace.
This was her home here in Orlando, the last place she was seen alive.
Decades passed, but secrets remained.
I miss her every single day.
Now, the breakthrough that could unravel it all. Fox 35 Docs presents Jennifer Kessie, tonight at 7.
6:45, welcome back. New this morning, Florida's favorite convenience store has been revealed, but it might not be what you expect.
So Bucky's may be the king of the convenience stores in Texas, but apparently no longer the fan favorite in the Sunshine State. According to the American Consumer Satisfaction Index, Bucky's now second in the South, fifth in the country. So Wawa ended up taking the #1 spot, and I could see there. A lot of people love their Wawas in 2025. Analysts report, though, it was a close race. So all that to say, wait for 2026.
Well, so here's the thing.
Wawa's had a lot more than Bucky's.
I have, 3 young men who love to go to Wawa's. That's the new kid hangout spot.
Oh, okay.
They'll go order their food, they'll sit outside, they'll talk.
They do a nice job with their kitchen, I'll say that.
Their food, they say, is not bad.
Bucky's brisket's got them beat, but it's a little different situation.
I wonder if it's because of the transplant pattern. There's a lot more people from the Northeast, from Pennsylvania, than from Texas.
Maybe.
Bucky's is a Texas brand, Wawa originally from the Northeast, right? So,
or maybe it's how the question was worded. We'd have to look at that. There are a lot of things we need to dig into.
Word things a little differly.
Who has the best slushie? That's my question.
Well, that would be, thank heaven for.
A 7-Eleven.
Wow, that was old school.
Absolutely. You usually get that when I'm putting down.
I was going to say TCBY.
Oh, no.
And now you're going really old school.
All right, let's get get to it. Speaking of frozen things, here's my segue.
Right.
There's a winter storm heading for a lot of the country. We're not going to participate. This happens this weekend, but we will catch a lot of the delays from cancellations as flights are canceled coming into Orlando from some of these places impacted by the storm. Right now it's 57 in Orlando. It's 60 in Kissimmee, 50 in Ocala. A little bit on the cooler side, so the bus stop, a sweatshirt will do you right, but we're going to warm up big time. 80 degrees by 3 for a beautiful Friday afternoon and a warm weekend ahead. 80 in Orlando on Saturday, 86 on Sunday. I mean, this is just silly, right? I mean, it's silly in the face of a major winter storm, which is going to steal the headlines nationally this weekend. We're going to be sitting here at near record levels of heat. Monday it'll cool down, about 70 for the high with some showers, but this is the perfect weekend for the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Let's hope the weather is as good for the Daytona 500. 73 on Saturday, 81 on Sunday, even arguably a bit warm on Sunday as the race wraps up. All right, let's talk about highs today. 81 in Bushnell, 81 in Kissimmee. Just one of those beautiful days. Look for mid-70s in Daytona. And when you compare it to what's happening up north, like how about right now where it's minus 21? Minus 21 in Minneapolis. True Arctic blast, but it's that surge of Arctic air entering this tropical air mass, this contrast in the weather systems, this battle of the seasons causing this huge winter storm. And there are winter storm watches as far north as Maine and winter storm warnings as far south as Texas. This is a hugely impactful system from Atlanta, points west and north. The hubs of the Northeast as well as the hubs of the South for airports will be affected. There's an ice storm warning in effect for northeast Georgia near Gainesville, Georgia. Ice storm warnings for northern Mississippi, northwest Alabama. Winter storm warnings in pink. Where the ice storm warnings happen, that's for freezing rain. Travel will be what's called impossible. The roads will be impassable. I've been through one of these. I mean, it really is. I thought, oh, that's kind of a hype, right, to say the roads will be crippled. But I mean, there's literally in these situations trees across the road where unless you got a chainsaw to cut your way out of the neighborhood, you can't really go anywhere. Not to mention that when there's that kind of glaze on the roads, there's just no traction, even if you got a big 4x4. There's going to be a widespread 1/4 inch of icing on the trees, and that can be enough to bring down some limbs and cause some scattered power outages. But once you start getting into these 1/2 inch totals, like around Charlotte and Richmond and up toward western sections of Virginia or Roanoke, maybe outside of Nashville and Memphis, that's where you start getting into the widespread power outages and the bigger limbs falling on power lines that can lead to power outages, not just for a couple of hours, but for several days. Now, that's the freezing rain side of the system, which arguably will have more impact on more places as far as really making life tough, because there's also Arctic air surging in, and if these places lose power, which they likely will, and the temperatures in the teens, it's going to be hard to keep that house warm. You're going to have to go find a hotel. So the snowy side, Oklahoma City could get a foot of snow. Louisville might get 10 inches plus, although it might mix with a little bit of sleet, reducing the snowfall totals, but it's possible. And then the system, after rolling through the middle of the country Saturday, Sunday, rolls into the Northeast as we get into Sunday night and Monday, dropping a widespread foot to 1.5 feet across the Northeast. So this is going to have huge impacts to flights Boston, New York, Philly, DC, Atlanta, Nashville, Birmingham, just all the way west to DFW, really. Meanwhile, we're going to be looking at this extraordinarily delightful weekend, but it will cool down as that system departs. It's going to drag in some cooler air for our area. Highs only in the 50s on Tuesday. All right, Skyfox traffic time. Let's get the latest out there. It's crazy in the weather world. How about traffic?
Well, we have had an incident pop up quite literally just a few moments ago. This is going to be at the interchange of State Road 46 near Mims and I-95, the on-ramp. Looks like they have it partially blocked off there, so it doesn't appear to be causing too much in the way of slowdowns, but it looks like they're trying to clear things up there. Again, that's going to be in northern Brevard County, close to Mims, as you make your way from State Road 46, also known as Main Street there, near the Mims area. So just keep that in mind. We can see there's some law enforcement present. Also starting to see traffic really stack up and build up near the Lake Mary area of I-4. We can see that traffic is still moving. That's some good news. It's just slowing down through this stretch because of some of that congestion. So definitely want to give yourself some extra time. You're looking at 25 minutes from Deltona to downtown. So even with a little bit of a slowdown near Lake Mary, you're still looking pretty good in the green as you make your way into downtown Orlando. Those are our FDOT cameras near Saxon Boulevard, by the way, which are looking good. We're in the yellow as well from Champions Gate to downtown at 30 minutes. Starting to see some slowdowns there too. All right, it's 6:51. I'll send it back over to you, Ryan and Danielle.
Today's Weather Baby is sponsored by attorney Dan Newlin.
Just part of what's going on this weekend. Let's bring in Steph to look at what's going on as we move into the 7 o'clock hour.
Hi, Steph.
Good morning, guys. Busy Friday, that is for sure. So coming up on Good Day Orlando at 7 a.m., Jack Smith on Capitol Hill, why the former prosecutor is defending his investigations into President Trump. And our wintry weather coverage still continues. We've got a live report from Dallas as travelers across the country are preparing for cancellations and delays, and a lot of snow and ice on the way. We're going to be right back with more news here on Good Day Orlando.